Plenty to contend with. And for more on the impact of the tariff remarks, and let's bring in our panel. Alli McCartney is here on set with us. She's managing director at UBS Private Wealth Management. Jimmy Pethokoukis is an economic policy analyst at American Enterprise Institute and a CNBC contributor. And it's great to have you guys both here. So, Alli, just kick this off, put this in context for us. Endless tariff announcements, how big a deal is it?
So we've been calling it tariff policy ping pong, right? And it just adds to all of the uncertainty in Washington at a time where there seems to be some weak data in other places. So what we have is sort of right now this perfect storm of seasonality, which tends to be really tough right now. And so you saw the retail buyers step away. A lot of geopolitical and Washington-based uncertainty, both for individuals on tax policy and for corporations on tariff and tax policy. And then you have this over-leveraged bid that was in the market stepping away. So this is just another thing that is going to continue to make, to provide volatility in the market and to stop a lot of the big tech companies from continuing to be the sector leadership that we've come to rely on.
I mean, this is one of those situations where we look at the impact that these three key so-called Magnificent Seven sectors have had, and then we look at just how much downside can be generated when they don't perform. It maybe is at odds with this broadening out trade, right? Because everyone wants to see the broadening out, but they don't like to see the still inordinate amount of influence certain key sectors have. It was a learning experience for the last week, right?
I agree, and I think it really is causing a lot of concern with people. And, to the extent that whether it's, Apple pulling back in a couple of data sectors, whether it's what's coming out of Washington, whether it's sort of what's been flip-flopping between the way one interprets what NVIDIA put out last night. And so, the truth is that those Mag 7, the techs, are down year to date. The market, by the way, is still materially up year to date, annualizing at a rate of, high single digits. But I think we are going to see that breadth. And I think to a certain extent, it provides a buying opportunity back into big tech for people. We were big buyers yesterday.
Interesting. Jimmy, just to pivot quickly to the broader question here, we talked to Adam Posen about this last hour. He thinks we're headed towards universal tariffs. He thinks tariffs and maybe a VAT are basically going to replace kind of the income tax system as we know it. Would you underscore those comments or no?
Replace the U.S. income tax system?
Well, fund the reconciliation bill
all I know is
and
that,
so on and so forth.
Yeah. Well, I do know that every tax activist, maybe not economist, but tax activist, has sort of always hated VAT taxes. Especially on the right, there is a long history of that. Listen, I'm not sure what we're going to do on our side as far as reacting to these tariffs. What I do know is that if the president were trying to inject as much uncertainty in the economy as possible with his trade policy, this would be it. I mean, I still don't know what exactly we're trying to do here. Is it about protecting certain industries like steel or aluminum? Is it about trade flows? Is it about creating surpluses? Is it about raising revenue? Or is it about negotiating with the EU and Canada and Mexico? All the above, partially above, none of the above? I think that's the position. If we're already uncertain about inflation, this adds a whole lot more uncertainty.